Jones. We are monitoring a developing story out of Bangor International Airport. BIA officials confirm an incident occurred shortly after 4 p.m. today, and the airport runway is closed at this time. Our crew on scene observed a small plane down with the tail number N18516. We do know there are no injuries reported at this time, and emergency crews are on scene. We'll bring you any updates as we get them, but officials not releasing many details at all at this hour. Well, 2 people suffered minor injuries due to a rollover crash in Orrington today. Penobscot County Sheriff Troy Morton says the call came in to dispatch for a multi-vehicle rollover crash at the intersection of Blake Road and Route 15 in Orrington around 2 p.m. He says a sedan coming off Sweats Pond Road missed a stop sign and drove into the path of a southbound truck. The vehicles collided and one of them rolled over. Both ended up in a ditch. One person was transported to the hospital for minor injuries. The other was treated on scene and released.
Airbags and seatbelts are always important, but it's critically important that if you're not familiar with the areas that you're traveling in, simply do not always pay attention to just simply following a GPS. Make sure that you're paying to the roadway, pay attention to the roadway in front of you.
In other news, Senator Susan Collins spoke to the media at an event today unveiling a multi-million-dollar training center in Saco for first responders, for which she had secured more than $3 million in funding. She commented on multiple pressing issues, including a vote that occurred just yesterday when she voted yes to ending the conflict in Iran. She says from the beginning she was clear that there is a 60-day trigger in the War Powers Act, meaning Congress and the President both have roles to play in matters of military hostilities. But at that 60-day point under the War Powers Act, Congress must either authorize military action or bring it to an end. The vote happened yesterday while they were in session.
I felt that we've accomplished a lot, but that at this point, the administration has not presented a clear plan for the rest of its goals and for bringing this conflict to an end. And so I voted to terminate military hostilities until that happens.
Collins went on to say she believes her vote is the right choice and consistent with the law. According to Politico, the vote failed 47 to 50. In other news tonight, new details have emerged in the Kirby Bradford murder case after a court affidavit was recently unsealed. Bradford is accused of killing his self-proclaimed best friend Robert Brusso of Palermo in February of last year. Our Doug Banks obtained those documents today and has the story.
An affidavit was recently made public, and it sheds new light into the death of Robert Brusso and the man accused of killing him, Kirby Bradford.
How do you wish to plead, sir?
Not guilty.
Back in April of 2025, state police troopers were called to Brusso's Palermo home for a welfare check after friends and family were unable to reach him for about 4 to 5 weeks. Brusso's body was located atop a snowbank along the tree line next to his driveway. Police say his shirt and pants were covered in small holes consistent with bullet defects. The documents describe an incident taking place on February 8, 2025, when a Kennebec County Sheriff's deputy recovered Brusso's phone at a South China intersection after it sent out a 911 crash notification, despite the deputy seeing no signs of a crash. The deputy went to Brusso's home to return it when he says a, quote, scraggly guy told him to leave the phone with him and he'll return it to Brusso. The following day, the deputy received a voicemail from someone identifying themselves as Brusso, claiming they were in Greenville ice fishing. According to the affidavit, friends and family told police Brusso was not someone who would go ice fishing, and Brusso's co-workers identified the voice from that voicemail as Kirby Bradford. February 8th is also the date authorities believe Brusso was murdered. The unsealed court document explains how Bradford told police he and Brusso had been friends since 1998. When investigators searched his former place of employment, they allegedly found a detailed drawing of Brusso's property where Bradford often worked. And a list the document describes as saying stun gun, zip ties, COVID masks, take phone, bring him somewhere out of sight, duct tape over mouth, bag over his head. During a subsequent search of his vehicle, the documents say authorities discovered a sawed-off pump shotgun with the serial number grounded off, loaded with 4 12-gauge shells, and wrapped in a sweatshirt. According to the Waldo Judicial Center, Bradford is currently being held without bail. And as of Friday, his next court appearance is yet to be scheduled. In Belfast, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
A program designed to protect you and your family in times of need took effect today. The state's paid family and medical leave program is designed to provide Mainers with financial stability during life's challenges and milestones. Our Alex Schley has more.
Paid family and medical leave is probably the biggest change to Maine's labor law in 40 years.
And as of Friday, eligible Mainers can now utilize the program.
Paid family and medical leave is one of the rare public policies that really improves almost everything. It's good for the health of babies, of new parents, of older Mainers. It's good for families' economic security, and it's good for small businesses in the economy.
The program is intended to provide support when Mainers need it most, whether during a medical event or major life change.
When you have to take time off to care for yourself, whether it's a surgery or illness, or take care of a loved one, or the happy event of bringing a new child into your life, it's something that ensures that you have partial wage replacement. So taking care of yourself and your loved ones isn't the choice that you have to make between that and financial ruin.
Under the plan, qualifying individuals can receive up to 12 weeks of partially paid leave each year, covering family, medical, military, or safety-related needs. Maine Senate President and leading advocate for the bill, Maddie Daughtry, says the benefits are tied directly to workers' contribution.
Dependent on what you make and how much you've paid in. So it's not something you get right off the bat. You have to have paid into the system a certain amount of time and hit a certain threshold. And it depends on how much you're earning and what jobs, how many sources of income you have as well.
Funding for the program began earlier this year, with both employers and employees contributing a 1% payroll tax. For more information about Maine paid leave or to apply, go to our website, foxbangor.com. I'm Alex Schley reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, it's officially May, and as warmer temperatures become reality, the Maine Bureau of Highway Safety is urging parents and caregivers to educate themselves on the dangers of hot vehicles for children. The Bureau says many people do not understand how quickly cars can heat up and become highly dangerous for children and pets. They say in just 10 minutes, a car can heat up as much as 20 degrees, and rolling down a window actually does surprisingly little to keep a car cool, even on a day when the temperature outside isn't especially high. Parking in shaded areas is also not actually a solution and can still lead to tragedy. They are reminding parents to stop, look, and then lock.
So really making sure that before they leave their vehicle, they are stopping, they're looking in the back seat, before they lock their car, to make sure that there is no child that has been forgotten or, may have accidentally gotten into their car. Maybe they don't know any of those circumstances.
Davis says if you see a dangerous situation unfolding with a parked car and a child, first see if the child is awake and responsive. If they are, you can try and locate the parents and try to monitor the child in the meantime. But if that child appears to be in distress and is not responsive, you should call 911 and try and get into the car. Maine does have a Good Samaritan law, Davis says, to try and protect those who attempt to help in such situations. Alrighty, folks, let's pause now and peek outside for a first look at our forecast.
Thank you, Beth. Our first weather today is brought to you by Quality Automotive and Brewer. Experience a quality automotive difference, reliable service, and expert care that you can depend on. Call us to schedule your next appointment at 922-2043. All right, as you see, a bit warmer out there for today. 58 degrees here in Bangor, a few 60s along your coastline. You see that in Rockland, Portland, and Sanford for today. We are cooler up north with the cloud cover up there, but a few low 50s that reach into Millinocket, Holton, and Presque Isle for this afternoon. So yes, we stay dry, but a little breezy out there. There is more rain on the way for your weekend, getting started pretty early. 8 a.m. for tomorrow. Going to mainly be scattered showers. A little bit of snow could be mixed in north as well, but as you warm up throughout the day, mainly rain showers. They'll stay scattered into the afternoon, but as we head into tomorrow night, mainly the eastern half of the state can get a nice soaking rain throughout your Saturday night into your Sunday. So overnight tonight, you'll see more clouds increasing towards the early morning hours and lows falling down into the mid-30s for tonight. Beth?
Coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, our Grace Blanchard was in Brewer to highlight how the popular Riverwalk there could soon get a major change. Stay with us.
carpets looking tired, stained, or just plain dirty? It's time to call the pros. At CNR Carpet Cleaning, we use deep steam technology to remove dirt, odors, pet hair, and allergens fast. Fresh, clean carpets, healthier home. That's the CNR promise. Visit our Facebook page for a free estimate or call us today, 631-7380. Step into clean with CNR Carpet Cleaning.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Bush, and I know what you're thinking, not another Bush, but hear me out. I'm not a politician or a lobbyist. I'm a veteran, an entrepreneur who created over 900 jobs in Maine. And as governor, I'll take a sledgehammer to Janet Mills' wasteful spending. I'll slash your taxes, property, and income, and put the Democrats' woke policies in the shredder. I'm Jonathan Bush. It's time for a... Johnny, don't touch the shredder!
Webb's RV Center has a 4-acre lot with over 75 previously owned campers all on sale, plus another 4 acres of new RVs and motorhomes. Webb's RV will take anything in trade. You can buy a camper anywhere, but be sure to buy your next camper at your local neighbor. A website can't service your RV, but Webb's RV will. And they have the biggest service department in the state of Maine to help you enjoy your RV or motorhome.
So come on down, neighbor. The coffee pot's on and the pencil is sharp.
From the heart of Maine, where rugged beauty meets timeless craftsmanship, Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, taming the outdoors through groundwork, retaining walls and seawalls, building custom fireplaces that become the centerpiece of your home, crafting granite steps and patios that invite you outdoors, designing hardscapes that turn yards into living spaces, built to last, crafted for life. Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, quality in every stone.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
The Brewer Riverwalk has become a major city attraction, and with plans to implement new zoning, officials say they hope to see the waterfront area transform into an even more vibrant and walkable hub. Our Grace Blanchard explains.
Major changes could be coming to the Brewer Riverwalk over the next decade.
The city has done a lot of the improvements, such as the Riverwalk and some parking and amphitheaters, and now we're looking at the private lots, getting those into uses that fit to a waterfront zoning district to be more vibrant and walkable.
City officials are currently in the early stages of implementing new zoning that they hope will help them reshape the waterfront area.
The City of Brewer has several pockets of what's called CB, convenience business zoning. So we're looking at taking this one pocket of CB and renaming it a waterfront zoning district and making these changes to that.
With new development coming into Brewer, new businesses constantly coming into Brewer, we felt like this was the right time to do that.
The Riverwalk has become a city centerpiece. This latest effort aims to create a community hub by encouraging pedestrian-friendly businesses and restaurants to set up shop along the river.
We want to make it a place that is that continues to be safe, that continues to be usable, that continues to attract people from throughout the region and throughout the state.
The city planner says they have been gathering public input, which they brought to the council this week.
We had so many positive comments about our Riverwalk and the waterfront area, the amenities we've installed, so we just hope it continues and is the hub for Brewer.
The council is expected to vote on the new zoning later this spring. In Brewer, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, we'll be checking in with the VZ robotics team to see how they're doing at a national competition in Houston,
Texas. Peter Van here. You know, I thought growing up would be the worst, but then I found a way to hack adulthood. It's called AAA. With AAA, it's all about the perks, just like being a kid, except with better snacks and no bedtime. Yes, it pays to be a member.
Who is the real Graham Plattner? He calls rural Mainers stupid and racist. Plattner says some Maine lobstermen are drug-addicted pieces of shit. He blames Maine's women for getting raped because he says they get up drunk. Graham Plattner even bragged about a Nazi tattoo on his chest. He calls it eminently reasonable. That's the real Graham Plattner. To be continued. Pine Tree Results Pack is responsible for the content of this advertising.
At Toyota, we believe longevity is the true measure of affordability. The longer something lasts, the further your money goes. So with Toyota being the longest lasting brand, your money goes the furthest. Now, during our longest lasting value event, you could save up to $5,800 with 2.99 for 72 on most 2026 Tundra models, plus get $1,000 bonus financing cash. See your New England Toyota dealer, your all-wheel drive headquarters. Toyota, let's go places.
Are you in need of remodeling your bathroom? Want to convert your tub into a safe walk-in shower? Call the experts at Bangor Bathrooms by Design now. They offer complete bathroom remodels, and from start to finish, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Call them now and save thousands. 659-6457. Enjoy that brand new bathroom you've always wanted from Bangor Bathrooms by Design. Transforming bathrooms, elevating lives.
Peter Van here. You know, I thought growing up would be the worst, but then I found a way to hack adulthood. It's called AAA. With AAA, it's all about the perks, just like being a kid, except with better snacks and no bedtime. Yes, it pays to be a member.
Welcome back in and happy Friday, everyone. The Maine Maritime men's lacrosse team is looking to continue their dynasty this weekend in Castine. If the Mariners can get through Thomas on Saturday, then win their championship matchup on Sunday, it'll be their fourth North Atlantic Conference title win in the past 5 years. The team is proud of the culture they've built, and with it being the NAC's final year with men's lacrosse, they're trying to make sure the final plaque on the trophy says Maine Maritime.
It'd be great. I've only been here for one of those wins, but I know some of the seniors have gotten two, and we'd love to add on to it and the neck on Mariners win.
I think it's amazing. It's really shown how much we've grown over the years. Ever since I've been here, it's just been that tone that we set. That's the expectation, and I'm just going to keep building from that.
The Mariners have gotten used to hosting the conference tournament in Castine, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Every year their graduation falls on the Saturday of tournament weekend, so every year one of their top goals is to secure that #1 seed so their seniors can enjoy the full weekend of festivities.
We want to make sure that we're here for our seniors to be able to play here on graduation day, for their families to be here, to not have to be on a bus, to not have to miss walking. All of that stuff's super important to our guys, like that culture that we built and that family feel.
I think it's a huge deal for our team and like our morale, because it allows our seniors to walk at graduation, because at Maine Maritime we graduate the same day, and so allowing us to be able to walk that same day, share that special moment in our lives, and then also still get to compete with our guys at home, it's all you could ask for.
Good luck to the Mariners and congrats to those seniors. Pretty powerful degree they're going to hold here in a single day. Well, Boston fans, on Thursday, the Celtics once again had an opportunity to close out their series with the 76ers, and once again, they came up short. On Sunday, the Celtics won in impressive fashion to give them a 3-1 lead in the series, and then dropped Tuesday's game, bringing it to 3-2. Then yet another shot to close the series on Thursday. The Celtics could not get it done, falling to the Sixers 106-93 in a game where no Boston player recorded over 20 points. The team shot just 29% from the three-point line. Jason Tatum also irritated his calf, but says he's good to go. The loss ties the series at 3-3 and forces the best two words in sports. Game 7, Tatum says the team has been in this situation before and is confident the team will be ready.
Each series takes on a life of its own, it's ups and downs. And, now we to the final game where, it's a win or go home. And obviously that's understood. And a lot of us have been in this situation before, Game 7, so it should be a fun one.
Not sure there's a single Celtics fan out there that feels good going into Saturday night. In an offseason that has already seen a lot of change, the Maine men's hockey team has lost yet another player to the transfer portal as Justin Poirier has made the move to Penn State. Poirier was a key piece of the Black Bears last season, tallying a team-leading 18 goals and 11 assists for a total of 29 points, but missed the last 8 games of the season-ending hip injury. Now the sophomore and Carolina Hurricanes 2024 fifth-round draft pick joins Penn State, another team who's losing much of their starting talent from last season. For now, that's all the time we have for sports. Here is your full 5-day forecast.
Thank you, Jack. Your evening weather is brought to you by Silva's Towing in Old Town, serving Penobscot County and beyond. All right, as you see for highs today, close to 60 here in Bangor. We settled at 58 degrees, but there were a few 60s along your coastline and Rockland and Portland, Sanford as well. Same for Freiburg. If you weren't in the 60s in the Bangor area, you were hanging out in the upper 50s. So pretty nice day out there, but the cloud cover did keep us cooler up north. 44 in Clayton Lake for today, but the rest of us right around the low 50s you see in Millinocket, Holton, into Presque Isle. So for tonight, we will have some clearer skies earlier on. We will see increasing clouds late, so looks to be right around 2 to 3 a.m. is where we'll hit our lows, right around the low to mid 30s here in Bangor. That looks to be the same all the way up north to Caribou and Clayton Lake as well, with temperatures staying warmer down to the southwest, seeing that cloud cover first. Now, this model wants to bring us into the 50s for tomorrow, but we'll see lots of cloud cover that keeps us cooler during the day, so most likely hanging out in the upper 40s. A few of us can reach the low 50s with a gusty south wind for tomorrow, but it is going to be cooler than these models are showing here for tomorrow with some scattered showers in the area. So yes, we are looking to be below average for your weekend. We're looking at mid to upper 40s for your Saturday and Sunday, but we jump right back into the 60s for Monday, and yes, that is a 70-degree temperature for your Tuesday. We'll see a lot of sunshine early on, and that may be followed by a few showers and thunderstorms heading into Tuesday night. That will continue to rain on us for your Wednesday, and you'll see the cooler temperatures Thursday and the Friday, slightly below average, right around the mid to upper 50s. So winds out there, a little breezy on the backside of that low pressure, right? Not too bad here in town, but more of that breeze is off to the west, where you're gusting your 20 to 25 miles per hour. But again, the winds look to lighten up tonight, and you'll get that southerly breeze for tomorrow ahead of our next system. So clear skies early on, increasing clouds late with a chance for a few showers early on in the morning. We'll see this starting right around 8 a.m. A little bit of snow can be mixed up north as well, but that won't last long. Temperatures will warm into the afternoon hours, mainly scattered showers, but as we get into the overnight hours, you'll see a bulk of some heavy precipitation falling, most likely on the eastern half of the state. This is what the models are catching up onto now, but a few models still want to keep this more in the central portions of the state. So Bangor, you're not out of the rain chance for your Saturday night into your Sunday. You can get clipped by this as well, which can bring some heavy rainfall and prompt some chances for some flash flooding, as many of us yesterday already saw 1 to 2 plus inches of rainfall, right? So this will continue much throughout Sunday. If we don't see the heavy rainfall, if it pushes off to the east, you'll still get scattered showers throughout your Sunday afternoon. So pretty wet weekend ahead, but it looks to be better heading into the work week. For tonight, you got lows in the mid 30s, partly cloudy skies. Winds are going to stay calm for tonight, more increasing cloud cover as we head into the early morning hours. And then, yes, we'll stay cooler for tomorrow, highs in the upper 40s, cloudy skies, and scattered rain showers throughout the day with a gusty south wind that can reach up to 20 miles per hour at times. So taking a look at your extended forecast, cooler for this weekend with rain chances for both Saturday and Sunday. As we get into your Monday, most of us will dry out. We'll see low 60s then, back near 70 on Tuesday, but that will be followed with a chance for showers and thunderstorms Tuesday night into your Wednesday. Beth?
There is still more to come right after the break.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
Do you take propane tank?
Anything goes.
How about cardboard?
Anything goes.
How about old rug?
Yeah, anything goes.
So this too?
Furniture removal, basements, garages, attics, hoarder houses. It doesn't matter here at Anything Goes Junk Removal. Anything goes. Well, almost anything.
We need to stop the trafficking of fentanyl. We've had serious issues. Our death rate climbed tremendously.
Susan Collins successfully fought to give law enforcement the critical tools they need to combat fentanyl traffickers.
And I don't know anybody else as sincere as Susan Collins is about keeping our young people in our communities safe. Thank you, Senator Collins, for delivering when it matters most.
Step into a story that's funny, touching, and deeply human. Winterport Open Stage presents The Dining Room by A.R. Gurney. This unique production blends a series of scenes into a heartfelt look at family and tradition. Performances run May 1st, 2nd, 8th, and 9th at 7 p.m., with matinees May 3rd and 10th at 3 p.m. at Samuel Wagner Middle School in Winterport. For tickets, visit winterportopenstage.net or find Winterport Open Stage on Facebook.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
Century of Life was celebrated at Sylvia Ross' home when staff and residents came together to honor one woman's 100th birthday. Our Alexa Kennedy has more.
You're on TV. What would you like to say to the world?
Oh.
Beverly Antonitis, a resident at Sylvia Ross' home, celebrated a major milestone Friday as she turned 100 years old. Staff and fellow residents marked the occasion with a special birthday celebration, including cake and a shared lunch in her honor. Family members say the party is a testament to her long, impactful life in the loving community that has grown around her.
It's a milestone. Not everyone gets there, and when it happens, we want to celebrate them.
Seeing the things that she's seen and lived through the things that she's lived through is just amazing.
Smith says the celebration featured numerous personal touches, including a live harpist to remember Beverly's time in the Bangor Symphony Orchestra and her favorite meal, shrimp scampi.
I feel extremely grateful.
Grant says Beverly's family surprised her by decorating her room in Walker.
I learned a lot from her over the years, and she's always so clever and funny. I think it just shows that there's so many people who care about her.
Andrew says she had a huge impact on his life, remembering the Thanksgivings where she taught him how to cook.
She seems very grateful that everybody has come together and put in the effort to make this happen.
Beverly says she had one piece of advice to share after a century of life.
Yeah, practice. You work hard and you accomplish wondrous things.
In Bangor, Alexa Kennedy, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
And a very, very happy 100th birthday to Beverly. Finally tonight, the WVII Community School robotics team has been hard at work in Houston, Texas, participating in a national competition. Today was their first full day of competing, and we caught up with some of these students to see what their experience has been like so far.
We've done a good job. I've seen so many amazing things and a lot of other teams that did really well.
There's teams from all over the world. I mean, you talk about NASA. We got to see one of the Saturn V rockets.
There was 160 teams there and about 100 different countries even. And they were so friendly, so nice.
This is something I read somewhere here in Texas. It's a thing about robotics. Don't aspire to be the best on the team. Aspire to be the best for the team.
If you keep working at it, you will get it, and never give up.
The team's experience has included a NASA tour, Michelin star dining, and other fun events. Now, their competition wraps up tomorrow, so they still have a bit of time to go. We wish them the very best of luck. We hope that they are enjoying themselves. We are very proud. Alrighty, folks, that's going to do it for us. From everyone here at ABC 7 News, take care and have a great rest of your night. And for more, join us over on Fox 22 News tonight at 6:30.
Gas prices surging.
In May, when you stopped making payments, there was $1,600 left on the card.
No, there wasn't.
Okay, so then all I want to see is in May the balance of $1,600 on the card. Would you show this to the defendant, please? In May, there was a balance of $1,612 on the card. That was your last payment. You owe her $1,612.
Okay, that doesn't
okay,
mean...
$1,612. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.
I trusted her. She always paid her debts.
I made several of them towards the end. $120 one, $130, $200.
She started not cleaning, making excuses, thinking I was going to pay her credit card debt for her, which absolutely, that's when the cleaning was discontinued.
I'm glad. It's been nothing but drama for the last 9 years.
I trusted her, and that was broken. She played on my weakness.
And I am so glad I am not involved in that family anymore.
And I am starting to feel like I need to change who I am because I was used.
This is Fox 22 News Tonight.
Beth Jones. Now we're monitoring a developing story out of Bangor International Airport. We just received updated information just a few minutes ago, so I want to get you right to it. Here is video from the scene of the incident that we are talking about. BIA officials confirm an incident did occur shortly after 4 p.m. on Friday, May 1st. Now the incident involved a plane with tail number N18516. It's a 1981 Beechcraft C-23 Sundowner. It's a single-engine plane registered to main instrument flight. There were no injuries reported in this incident. This is all from BIA officials. Now, details are under investigation. Emergency crews are on the ground. Bangor Police and Fire, Maine Air National Guard, and airport personnel. Now, the runway was immediately closed after the incident occurred. We're told that the